It's time for the trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Project 2025 would dismantle democracy as we know it.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no, other than day one."
Is a vision of implementing a startlingly authoritarian form of the U.S. government.
Same thing with the unions. They get their little 5%. They get another 2%. They get another 3%, 4%. Then all of a sudden they're making more money than the people that own the company.
Do you do larger cuts, corporate cuts?
Yeah, I was planning on doing it. In fact,
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
What's at stake here is democracy itself. It's now Donald Trump's party. And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
failed businesses. Here are just a few. Trump Ice bottled water, sold as the purest water from a secret spring, is from Vermont. Trump steaks ranged from $200 to $1,000. They were discontinued after 2 months. Trump Shuttle Airlines, Trump borrowed $250 million to buy an airline, but he didn't take care of the airplane, so an airplane crashed and then they went out of business after only 2 years. Trump Vodka, discontinued, low sales, many lawsuits over unpaid bills. Trump Castle, bankrupt and rebranded as Trump Marina. Trump Marina, bankrupt and sold. Trump Plaza, bankrupt and demolished. Trump's World Fair, bankrupt and demolished. Trump Taj Mahal Casino, it was advertised as the 8th wonder of the world, bankrupt and sold. Trump University, scam thousands, many lawsuits and investigations. Trump Network, MLM that sold vitamins and health stuff. Trump Board Game with Milton Bradley, pulled from shelves because it didn't sell. He later tried to re-release it. It sold even less. Trump Mortgage LLC, financial services, lasted a year. GoTrump.com, travel site, lasted a year. Trump Fragrances, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Home Furniture, pulled from shelves due to low sales. Trump Net, telephone communication company, ran out of money before it even opened, and soon to fail because they all do. Truth Social, brought to you by Trump Media. Ew.
The reason that I'm coming forward now, I helped pull the wool over America's eyes towards a guy that should not be president, should never be president, and should be fired from the whole thing.
You talk a little bit about the way that that Trump was in reality versus the Trump that people saw on the show.
Well, what you see right now is sort of what he was in reality. He was, to a large degree, someone who was an entertainer. He really was not a good businessman. Our job is, from a marketing perspective, for the conceit of the show, was to make it seem like he was a legitimate businessman, competent, good judgment, compassion when needed. Mm-hmm. None of those things were actually apparent, but that's what we had to do to make the show work. And so we created that narrative, made it seem like it was money, like he was living in royalty, with the cars and the limousines and the helicopter all labeled Trump, in gilded, like the gilded New York age, and then had to position him as a great potential CEO. And I say potential because he never really was a CEO. Right. He was a lot of little businesses that he had. But to make the show work, we had to make it seem like that. And unfortunately, that, because we just pummeled American with those messages, that remains there right now. And to many people, even though there is significant things that you can see right now that is that where that's not true, many people think it is. And right now, with the economy being one of those things that people are looking at, we made him seem to be a very smart businessman. And quite honestly, that is not true, because he wouldn't have 4 bankruptcies and then ultimately 6 during the time of Apprentice if he was that good.
Talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk. Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election. Now look, they're saying the quiet parts out loud now, because Donald Trump has already promised that he would put Elon in charge of government regulations that oversee the businesses that Elon runs. That's a hell of a buy. He could spend billions to make more than 10 billion on the back end. So in other words, Donald Trump, in front of the eyes of the American public, is promising corruption. That's what he's promising you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Good morning, good morning. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Maybe I can get a thumbs up or two if you guys can hear me okay. There it is. Let's see. Did you guys see that? November 5th. is voting day. That's the election day. And if you can vote early, do so. All right. So there's that. Here's my new sticker. Actually, I just stuck that on there just now. I'm not sure if I like the placement now that I think about it, but whatever. Okay, Jolie gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, Jolie. So here we are. It is 9:13 a.m. in the Pacific time zone here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It's currently only 54 degrees, and we are expected a daytime high of 66. So quite almost a 20-degree drop probably from yesterday's high. So maybe finally we're done with this warm summer-like weather, and maybe we're finally going to get into some fall weather, hopefully. Alrighty, looking at the chat, I see Mr. Bob Newell is the first one in the driver's lounge today. Hello, Mr. Bob Newell. Good to see you. It says I can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you either. We've got Mike Mayberry here, and Tamara Price, Michael McAndrews, Jolie's here. Hope you're feeling better this morning, Jolie. Thanks for being here. Regardless, let's see. MJ Daniel. Good morning to MJ. Fancy's here. I'm awake, but barely. She says. Well, thanks for being here. Just go ahead and listen and rest. Maybe, I don't know. Michael McAndrews, best thing you've ever seen. Oh, okay, here we go. The best thing you've ever seen, yeah. Let's see. Who else we got here in the driver's lounge? Jupiter Judy's here. Hello, Jupiter Judy. Good to see Jupiter Judy here, as always. Nick Rich is here. Like number 8. Beauty and good day. We got 20 watching, 24 thumbs ups. Carrie C is here. Good. I think morning, everyone. I know typing is a challenge for me too, as well. Let's see. Who else we got in the driver's lounge today? Who else is in here? We got William. Good morning, William. Good to see William in the driver's lounge. Mojo Jojo. Probably my favorite name on the internet. Mojo Jojo. Hello, Mojo Jojo. Good morning to you. And we got MJ Daniel. The hate-filled fascist rally in New York was a sample of how GOP would rule the USA. And, I'm so, I guess, I don't know, happy is the right word, but I just listened to AOC's, her take on it. I've listened to, I think, Joy Reid. I've listened to a few people's take on that rally. I mean, even, I think, Stephanie Miller and Allison Gill. And it's funny how brilliant minds think alike, because I was thinking kind of the same thing. That this wasn't really like a campaign rally. This was a prep for another Jan 6. This was Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and all of them saying, fuck it. We're not going to try to win over any new people. We're going to completely just, we're just going to completely like kowtow or whatever, I don't know, or pander to our base, who are really a bunch of hateful racists. And these are our people. This is what we got, and that's what they are also. And so they didn't care about it. They didn't mince any words, did they? That's why they had fucking Tony, the dude from Kill Tony, say the things that he said, and the campaign came out and said they did vet that and they did allow it. They did know ahead of time what was going to be said. So it's not like he just sprung something on them, at the last second. They knew what he was going to say. They knew the shit that was going to be said. And throughout the whole thing, Trump's speech was very, very racist and horrible. And so basically, they're just saying this. The Trump campaign is just saying, this is it. This is our campaign of hate. Complete opposite. There could be not. People are always saying how things are they're so alike. The parties are alike. Well, these campaigns could not be more different than one another. I mean, Kamala Harris. I mean, from the get-go, we've seen joy. Joy was the big word that popped out, right? Joy, and we see positivity, and we see people really being just happy and and enthusiastic about that campaign, and you go to a Trump campaign, which I have gone to, rally, and you watch them on TV and you see these things, and it's just hate after hate after hate. Hate this group, hate that group. It's so negative and so it really is dystopian, this future that you see with Trump. So they could not be more opposite. And it's really I don't know, it's kind of startling and it's kind of eye-opening in a way. And well, look, we only got one more week. The last day of the election day is 1 week from today. So we got 7 days. And I mean, I feel confident that Kamala Harris is going to win, and I think she's going to win bigly. But still, there's anxiety there. There's still memories of 2016 that will, and we should remember that. Excuse me. We should remember that. We should not forget 2016. That should be a valuable lesson. To not be complacent, to make sure we all vote everywhere. Don't take anything for granted. Anyhow, we got Michael McAndrew says, angry. Why should I be angry at a rapist fuck who attempted a coup on our country and crooked everyone? Angry? It's okay to be a little angry. Use that anger in a positive way, though. Fancy says, well, I don't know if Fancy says this, but the thing says, welcome to Driver. Well, thank you, Fancy. Fancy's a member and is a driver. Thank you so much, Fancy. Awesome. I didn't do my Members Only Monday. I have a feeling I might have to scrap Members Only Monday, because it seems like every Monday something either comes up, or it's just, I've got stuff going on, and it just seems like that's my day where I get stuff done, or I'm doing stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to scrap Members Only Monday, or whatever. We'll figure something out. Fancy's going to go get some coffee. There you go. Get that coffee going. I got mine going. Yes, sirree. Walter McCarovich is here. Walter says, good morning, Chuck and John. One went away for you. Trump live press conference is on now with lie after lie after lie. Oh, yeah. It's just, what's new with that guy? And thank you, by the way. Los Angeles Dodgers, last night we won Game 3. We're up 3-0. At this point, Freddie Freeman is the World Series MVP if it keeps going this way. He started things off with a 2-run home run last night. The guy is just amazing. I mean, baseball player. Seems to be, as far as I know, he's a great guy in real life, off the field. Seems like a really great guy. And so far, I'd have to say, yeah, he's the MVP. And hopefully, we got Game 4 tonight. It's in New York, in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium. I'm hoping we can just sweep it in 4 and be over with it. Be over and done with it. Now, I don't know. Of course, these are the Yankees, and they are the best team in the American League. And, of course, they are the Yankees. So, it's very possible that they could win tonight. Maybe Aaron Judge will finally break out of his slump. Hasn't hit at all. And even Soto and Stanton, the other two really big hitters in their lineup, have been relatively quiet at the plate. So all it takes is even just one of those guys, let alone if all three of them start hitting, the Dodgers will be in real big trouble. So we'll see if those sleeping giants awake. the Dodgers could be in for trouble. So, but we're looking good. We're up 3-0. So I don't mind if the Dodgers sweep tonight and win the championship over there in New York. I'm completely fine with it as long as they win. I just want them to win. Jupiter Judy says, "Congratulations, TJ. We voted early in Florida. Good for you, Jupiter Judy. Get those votes in. Let's get him all in. Let's vote blue for all this dear to you." Trademark, Trucker John, by the way. Jolie says it's going to be 80 in Indiana today. Yeah, I saw Wes Webb, the infamous Wes Webb, had posted somewhere. I don't know if it was on one of my threads or if it was some other chat room, but he said it was going to be 86, I think, where he's at in Illinois, right? So I think because we had sort of warm weather, and I think it just always makes its way across the country. Seems like. So you guys are having our heat probably for another day or two, and then maybe you'll have a big drop like we just had. We had about a 20-degree drop today. Hey, Samantha Monkeys here says, "Stop the lies. It's 4:14 p.m. TJ." I know. I just can't help myself. I can't help myself. But welcome, Surrender Monkey. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out, coming on in, checking it on out. Now, I believe, if I heard correctly, that Hal Sparks is not going to do his show tonight, this afternoon, because I think he does that Ultimate Jam night at the Whiskey A Go Go down in Hollywood, and I think he said he wasn't going to do an afternoon show. If that's true, if I can verify that or confirm, what's the difference between verify and confirm? Were those just synonyms? Anyhow, I'm going to either if I can get verification or confirmation, or both, or one or the other. If Hal's not doing an afternoon show, I just might squeak in there and take that time slot. So if Hal's off today, that later on, if he's off, come on over here to Trucker John. I might just pop on. Mr. Bob Newell says, "Sup? What's up? What's up with you?" Deborah Murphy's here. Hello, Deborah Murphy. Good to see you. Coffee, sugar, and Big Blue Wave, apparently. And something else that I can't see, that I can't figure out. Like I've always said, I'm not good at reading emojis. Hey, Teresa TAK's here. Good to see Teresa. Thanks for dropping on in to the Driver's Lounge. Always good to see Teresa from Texas. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. Well, you've already told us. I'm always afraid, like, am I, was it doxing? I don't know. I'm a boomer. What the fuck do I know about doxing and shit like that? Straight Mike says, "Hi, Teresa, and everyone in the chat." Mr. Bob Newell, can you hear me? I can see your little post there. Can you hear me? Michael McAndrews, it was Trump dissing the USA. Dissing the USA. There's got to be a parody song there, right? Either Born in the USA could be a parody, or maybe even, what's the Miley Cyrus one? Like, like party in the, wasn't hers like party in the USA? Dissing in the USA. I shouldn't make light of it, actually. Walter McCavish, 180 hours till the end of the dictator's hopes. Hopefully, from your lips to God's ears. Josh is here. A lounge crew. Good to see Josh over here in the driver's lounge. Pull up a seat, grab a coffee, and let's shoot the shit for a bit. Hey, yeah, but God damn it, this long national nightmare that has been Donald Trump, which began when he came down the escalator at Trump Plaza, or whatever the fuck they call it, in front of a bunch of paid background extras. That's what they were. All the people in that lobby were all being paid. This was all just a big production. When he came down and he announced he was running for president, that's when the national nightmare started, I guess arguably. I mean, maybe it started the day he was born, but for all intents and purposes, as far as our running for president and shit like that, That was the day it really started, and man, I hope it's over soon. This is a nightmare that just won't go away. Sometimes in fact, the other night I kind of had I guess you call it a nightmare. It's one of those things where you're trying to wake up. You're just desperately trying to wake up because there's something going on in your dream. There was something was going on. I forget what it was, but I was just trying to make myself wake up. And I finally did. I made myself wake up, but it was like trying to get out of, I don't know, quicksand. And, it's like you just can't move. It's like one of those things where you just can't move. And sometimes that's how Trump makes me feel. Like I'm in this long ass nightmare and I'm trying to get out of it. And I have this realization that I'm sleeping. This is where the analogy might fall apart, but I know I got to get out of there. I got to get out of this place, or I got to wake myself up. And you're just trying to. You're just trying to get through this murk and this thickness, and you're just like, trying to wake up, and then finally you wake up, and you're like, oh. I feel like Tuesday is going to be that day, and I really hope, like I said, I feel confident Kamala's going to win, but I still have that anxiety creeping in, thinking about 2016 and everything. And man, I just hope when Kamala kicks his ass, and we can call Kamala Harris Madam President, and that not only will Trump lose, but this will be the start of prison sentences for him. Lock his ass up. He needs to be locked up. All that shit. When they said lock her up, even back then, that was all projection. They wanted to lock up Hillary because Trump knew that he was the one. He knew deep down. He knew even back then. He knew that he had done stuff that he should be locked up for. So he projects that onto Hillary. I'm sorry, I don't know if I got a constant cold, a forever cold, or what, but. And I know this does not look good. If you guys are watching, because I guess a lot of people just listen. Maybe I don't know. But if you're watching this and you're seeing me with the tissues and the things and the nose and the wiping the nose and with the this and the that, it's not pleasant. Hey, Witchy Woman's here. Good to see Witchy Woman. A Witchy Woman, or Kimchi, as I like to affectionately call her. No. Thanks for being here, Witchy Woman. Good to see you. Who else we got in there? Izolda's in. Hey, Izolda. Good to see you, Izolda. Thanks for joining us over here in the driver's lounge. Serena Monkey says, hi, Steve can't be written in emojis. Are you sure you are real? Oh, did I skip Steve? I may have skipped someone named Steve. Again, on my page, my channel, I guess, I cannot get to the all chat filter. There's no chat filter. So now I'm actually, so I've been watching. I'm looking at the chat on my other channel, on my Fowler's Wrath channel, and I can get to all chats. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're ever going to fix it. I've sent in little messages to YouTube telling about it. No one's ever gotten back to me. I don't know if they ever will. But for some reason, I've lost the ability to even choose all chats on my, the Trucker John channel. For some reason, I don't know why. Hey, Non-Useful is here. Good to see Non-Useful. Says JD Vance claiming that the Progressive Party can't take a joke. Yeah, that's what people say when they say a really horrible joke that they shouldn't have said, and then you can't even take a joke. After they just said the most like racist, horrible joke, and you're supposed to laugh at that. No, it's not. It's not that I can't take a joke. It's that you're a moron and you're a horrible person for even saying something like that. Okay. I gotta squirt this bug. Look what I bought. I bought this baby. I've got bugs in here, man. And so I bought that thing. I just kill the bugs with my gun. The fastest gun in the West here. Let's see, Mike Mayberry. I'm so nervous about the election. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Like I said, I got some anxiety going. Really, just want it to be over with. We got just one more week. Make sure if you haven't voted and you have early voting and mail-in voting, at this point you might want to just walk it in. I mean, it'll probably get there, but like you say, we remember Louis DeJoy. Now, I haven't really heard any stories like we did in like 2020 election about shenanigans going on by DeJoy with the post office. I haven't heard any, but still, at this point you might want to, if you have a Dropbox, you might want to just take it to Dropbox. But it's getting down there, 7 days, so make sure you vote one way or the other, whether it's on election day or whether it's if you have early voting and you can drop off your ballot. If you have mail-in, if you're going to do a mail-in, I would do it no later than today or tomorrow, or just in case. It shouldn't take, especially, it really shouldn't take more than a couple days to be delivered. Even if you did it on, I shouldn't even say it, but get it in there now. If you're not going to do same day, and if you're going to mail it in, you should mail it in as soon as possible, or get to the Dropbox and do it that way. But yeah, Josh says it's truly astounding how many people eat up his bullshit. Well, yeah, they're like here's unusual. It says MAGA is as vile as the quote chosen one. These maggots are they're just gone, man. They're gone. Jolie says 1 more week until Trump starts declaring he won, even though he lost. It's never ending. Yeah, he's going to shut that whole fucking thing up again. Like the election is it's like the election will be accurate if he wins, but if he loses, then it was fixed or whatever. Don't host this. How can we forget COVID won't let us when COVID won't let us? How can we forget what? Forget what a vile piece of shit that Donald Trump is? Michael McAndrew says, "Don't be complacent, please." Yes, please. Complacency is death. I wrote an article about that with that title, "Complacency is Death," probably about 20 years ago now. Witchy Woman says, Kamala has this. The polls are skewed on purpose. Last time off by as much as 18 points. I know, and that's the thing that gives me, I guess, hope or whatever. Because we think we can go back to even the 2020 election, the midterm 2022. Democrats outperformed the polls. The polls, said one thing and a completely other thing happened. We've seen, special elections where Democrats have won in big numbers in places they weren't really supposed to. And it really is, I think, November. A lot of that stuff was in 2022 was a result of November and the special elections, November. And November is going to be a big part of next Tuesday also. And also just the fact that more and more people are realizing what a scumbag that Donald Trump is and how unfit he is for office and how he's very fit for a prison cell. Hey, Mike Mayberry says, Steve Shives just came out with an excellent video showing Trumpy's following is a cult. It's so true. Yep. William says 1 week until Trump claims the election was rigged. Surrender Monkey says, at least you didn't eat anything you found up there. I've seen that done on a live stream before today. I don't know. Are you talking to me? I didn't eat anything that I found up where. I don't know if that was talking to me or not sure who that was directed at. Mr. Bob Newell, I've been to Puerto Rico many times. It was lovely. Yeah, that's a horrible comment that comedian made. It was not a funny joke, and it didn't really didn't sound like it even landed well, even with the maggots. Actually, the people that were there. Fancy says, "Go Dodgers." Yep. Mike Bear is weird. I like the Dodgers and the Yankees. I'm so torn. Wow. Well, just choose one. Zolazin TJ, I hope you can do it this Monday because the vote counting will still be in limbo. Do what on Monday? Do a show on Monday? Well, the election's not till Tuesday. So. Hey, Terry Taylor's here. Top of the morning, TJ and Cheddar. Hey, Terry Taylor. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for dropping on in. Always good to see Terry Taylor in the driver's lounge. Michael McAndrew says the USA should be protected from any insurrection shit and any election interference games. Well, I think we'll be ready for it this time. Mr. Bob Newell is Kurt Gibson playing. No, actually, he was out hunting the other night when apparently I think he was hunting or doing something, fishing or hunting. And the other night when Freddie hit that grand slam, I guess he was listening to the game on like a radio or something, or some sort of live streaming, but radio, just the audio. He was just listening to the audio, I think, because of course some reporters got a hold of him. They asked him if he saw it, and he said that he was listening to it because he was out hunting somewhere. I think he's a big hunter, Kurt Gibson is, and I forget the other comments, but I think he thought it was cool or whatever. Hey, non-useful $2 super chat. It says November 5th, have your spirit of choice ready to party. There you go, non-useful. That's right. I think it's like I said, I have anxiety. I have flashbacks of 2016, but also I do feel confident that Kamala Harris is going to win. But then that stuff creeps in. Like I say, the flashbacks of 2016 creep in. So, but yeah, have it ready. We're going to pop a cork or something. I'm not sure. Hopefully, with the results, I'm not. They're with all the write-in ballots and how some of these states have these stupid laws where you can't start counting the write-in ballots, the mail-in ballots. I'm not write-in ballots, the mail-in ballots. Until the polls close on election day, and then that delays everything with the count. So, but hopefully, we'll get a clear-cut decision as early as we can. Hopefully, it'll be sometime on Tuesday, but it might not be. Who knows? It might be Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know, but yeah, let's get ready to party. Michael McAndrew says it's our government, and if they fuck with our government, they're fucking with us. Nick Rich, Freddie Freeman's Grand Slam will be viral for a long time. Well, it's going to be one of the greatest World Series moments of all time. Yeah, it already is. Yeah. Sweater Monkey says, I play a Polish-made helicopter game, and you can have Kovefi on your Russian helicopter Oilers helmet. There you go. Hey, Pamela's here. Hey, good to see Pamela. Says, just voted blue in Florida. I need a shower after being so close to a bunch of MAGA. Yeah, go shower off. Get that MAGA stench off of you. Shower. You might shower twice. Just shower, get out. You can get back in again. I don't know. You might have to do that. You might have to go extra on the hot water. I don't know. Whatever. Do whatever you. Yeah, get that MAGA off of you. Mr. Bob, no, today is a twofer. It might be. I'm pretty sure if I can get either verification or confirmation, I'm still trying to decide if there's a difference there. If Howell is going on or not, Hey, there's Paul Shruggy Man. It says, howdy, TJ and truckers. Got that shit last night. It was very hard to watch. The most Nazis together in one place since 1939 in imagery, would you believe? And I didn't really even bother watching it. I saw the clips. I saw some of what Boston Brian was doing. I guess Hal was on, and then I guess it got cut off or something. But I didn't actually just watch it. I didn't really see the point in watching it, you know. But anyhow, Tim Farrell's here. Good to see Tim. One of our resident Tims. The other Tim I have not seen in a long time. Witchy Woman, sorry, I'm leaving at 3:30 Eastern Time to see Kamala on the Ellipse. Long John's needed. Wow, well, awesome, Witchy Woman. That is so cool. So at 3:30 Eastern, about 12:30 our time, gonna go see Kamala. We'll have a good time, and tell Kamala that Trucker John said hi, and that he's voting for her. Sweetie Monkey says, well, it's subtle, but the difference is Kamala can spell both confirmation and verification, and Donald cannot. Corey the Anders here. Hey, Corey, good to see you. Says, hi, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hi, y'all. Hi, Corey the Ander. Thanks for dropping by. The old driver's lounge here. Mr. Bob Newell, did you see Trump kiss Melania? I didn't. I didn't see that. I'm sure it was probably very... Melania probably looked like she was in distress or something. Fancy says that she saw a pic of it. Michael McAndrew says Donnie can hit a golf ball towards a hole in the ground with a stick. Yeah. Walter McCarver says Kamala's speech tonight at where Trump January 6th speech given should be interesting tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be on 7. Yeah, that's going to be the same place. Yeah, where Trump said, "You got to fight for your country." Yeah. I'll be right behind you. I'm right behind you all the way. Yeah. Josh says it was glorious when he fell down the escalator. I didn't see that. I didn't see that there. Fancy says, Rich, there have been fancy tarot wars with rival fancy tarot. Haha. Terry Taylor perfectly describes how I feel TJ Trump has been never-ending nightmare. Oh, yeah. Michael McAndrews, did you hear what Dumpy was saying as he tried to get off the bus when he couldn't open the bus door? I did not. I guess I've been watching too much baseball, maybe. I don't know. Baseball and football lately. Paul Sharky Manning, life is hard to work out. Lost my 21-year-old nephew, but my 93-year-old is fighting back in hospital. He's eating and is Cosposmentos. I don't know if that was an auto spell thing, but yeah, really sorry. We heard about your nephew, last week, and really sorry to hear about that. Again, condolences, and I hope you guys, I mean, how do you get past that? That's a tough one. And then your 93-year-old, I don't know if that's your father or whatever, but it's because it didn't write it in there. But yeah, I hope they get well soon. Willie Weed's here. Peace and love. I don't know. Peace and harmony. Hey, Willie Weed. Good to see you. Thanks for checking us out here in the Driver's Lounge. Always good to see you, Willie Weed. Tim Farrell says, I was terrified of quicksand as a kid. I assumed it was out there somewhere, hiding, ready to grab when I least expected. I know we used to, I grew up in the desert, and we used to have empty fields of desert, and we used to play Army out there in the desert. This is when I'm like 8, 9 years old. And we always would have a quicksand pick. It wasn't real, but we always had this, don't step in that area. That's the quicksand. So if you're playing Army, you had to make sure you went around the quicksand area. Otherwise, you would fall into it and you'd die. Or something like that. So I'm just skipping down. I know I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat. Let's see. Witchy Woman Bob, it was grotesque and shameful. About because Mr. Bob, I guess, said, did you see Alina Hamid entrance dance? I did not. I've only seen clips of it, of the thing, the rally. So I guess I missed that clip. Witchy Woman says, is there any group the Nazi rally did not denigrate? I think they hit them all. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we're gonna get them all. We're gonna touch them all tonight. You know. Shredder Mike says, I disagree. The Nazi rally at MSG is incredibly helpful for law enforcement who can check first when they get lied to and kick off this stuff. Well, yeah, I guess we know who the Nazis are. Jolie says, like, subscribe, and share. Yes, absolutely. Like, subscribe, share. We're up to 3,475. We're almost at 3,500. Oh, glory day. Hey, there's Aaron West. Aaron West is here, my other mod. Thank you for being here, Aaron. Good to see you. So now we're at full capacity or full power in the mod squad. Aaron and Jolie are both here. I'm just sort of skipping down here. It says, Walter McCarver says, I did see on the news they or someone was caught burning drop boxes or starting fire. I heard of one. I haven't heard of multiple ones, but that probably is. I mean, and whoever's doing that should be considered a federal offense. They should be looking at some federal jail time for that. Witchy Woman says, Walter, they caught him. So, yeah, that motherfucker needs to go face federal charges and be put into a federal pen for, I would say, years and years. Walter says they caught the car plate leaving the scene. Yeah. Yeah, there's these things called cameras nowadays, surveillance cameras and security cameras. So if you're going to go out burning drop boxes, you might want to cover up your license plate or something. Rob4419 is here. Hey, good to see Rob. Rob says, and he acts like he wasn't there in 2017, so he wants a do-over. We're talking about Trump, I guess. MJ Daniel, MAGA accepts every vile thing DJT says, sight unseen, with zero proof. He has given them an outlet for their hate, bigotry, and paranoia, and it is very dangerous. And again, going back to what I said at the beginning about how opposite these campaigns are, MAGA gives hateful, racist bigots a place for them to go to and to express themselves. And likewise, the Kamala Harris campaign, it gives those of us that we want to feel joy and happiness, and we want to have togetherness, and we want everyone to live together and be, and together and have that big tent where we all come together and we strive to make America better and make this place better, and that's what Kamala Harris brings out in us, So it is important, like who runs and who's running for president. It does really matter, and there is a difference, Now Nick Rich is trying to bring me down a little bit here. So Nick Rich says the likelihood of prison for any former president is slim. Ankle bracelet and home confinement is reasonable. Nick Rich, I don't want your reality. Okay, I don't want that bullshit. I'm gonna say prison. Now, in the back of my mind, do I know that everything you just said is probably true? Still, I'm saying lock him up. And I think they should at least, even if he ends up with home confinement with an ankle bracelet, they should at least stick him in some, even if it's not prison, even if it's just some jail, some holding cell, for like a couple weeks, just stick him in a jail cell, make him eat some shitty food 3 times a day, and sleep on a shitty cot, or whatever, and just say that this is this is like your holding period where we get everything set up, because if you're gonna be confined at Mar-a-Lago, there's certain things we gotta do. We gotta make sure, blah blah blah. At least do that. At least. But man, Nick Rich, come on, man. Don't harsh my harsh. Or whatever. I don't know. Jolie's got to duck out. Everyone not feeling well, so I'm going to go back to sleep. Thanks, Jonathan. All right. Well, yeah, you get some rest, Jolie, and get better soon. We need you. We need you here on the front lines of the Trucker John show. But yeah, get some rest and get better soon. MJ Daniel says, no dog in the fight for the World Series. I was hoping for a good 7 games, but I guess not. Yeah, if you're not a fan of the teams, or particularly, then yeah, you kind of always want that back and forth, go make it this, game 7. But as a fan, and I'm, the Dodgers, I bleed blue. I bleed Dodger blue, and I've been a Dodger fan since I was a little kid in the 60s. That's a lot of years. If the Dodgers win it in 4, I'm good. I'm happy, because you just want to secure that championship, as a fan. And the same way, if you were a Yankees fan, you would want the same thing. So, but yeah, I get that. Because a lot of times, the Dodgers, they haven't been in it since what, 2020, and that was the COVID shortened season. And then the previous one to that, the last one they won was in '88. That was the Kirk Gibson World Series. So I go a lot of years without my team, and then my team, the Dodgers, have been in it. They got cheated by the Red Sox, and they got cheated by the Astros because they were cheaters. And there's something crawling up over there. I got him. So, the Dodgers should have beat both Boston and Houston, but they both cheated. And you notice how I haven't seen any indications of cheating going on by the Yankees. And so you notice how much better the Dodgers do when their opponent doesn't cheat? Isn't that amazing? How the Dodgers actually have a chance of winning when the other fucking team doesn't cheat? Maybe the Yankees will start cheating tonight. I don't know. Witchy Woman says 34 felonies. F no, he goes to prison. Yeah, well, whatever happens. I mean, I would love to see the guy just rot in prison, in a prison cell. He deserves it. Hey, Rob Glynn's here. Hi, everyone visiting to hit that like, go blue. Hey, Rob, thanks for hitting that like. And go blue. Go blue as in Democrats and in Dodger blue. I'm gonna add that part. Rob Glynn's probably a Cubby fan, I imagine. Maybe. I don't know. You know what they say when you assume? You make an assuming. Something like that. Certain American says, I'm pretty confident that now the president is immune from even unconstitutional actions taken as president. There are many, many people listening to Trump and watching every fuck nugget he talks to. Well, the president is and even as a former president, you have a pretty big platform, and that's why it's so important to, what you say, what they say, is very influential. So we have Rob Glynn and we have Rob 4419. So we got a couple Robs here, and we've got and we have a Nick Rich. Says Nick Rich, Rob Glynn, you've been lurking. John's having a problem with his channel. Am I? Well, I am having a chat. Yeah, that's right. The chat filter. It's not on my. It's on my regular Trucker John channel. I have no chat filter, so I can't go to all chats. But on my other channels, I'm right now. I'm on my Fowler's Wrath channel, and I also have the Feed on the Dashboard channel. I still have the chat filter, but for some reason on my Trucker John channel, no chat filter. So I guess that's what Nick was talking about. And I've tried like I haven't really rebooted, but I guess I logged out, logged in, all that kind of stuff. MJ Daniel Howell's doing 24-hour election day, so I will probably be dropping in there. Yeah, that's on Tuesday, but I'm also going to be doing my regular show on Tuesday morning. I don't know when Howell's going to start his 24 hours, but I'm also going to. That's going to be one of the rare times, one of the only times that I'm going to actually be on the same time as Howell, because I've always fashioned my schedule, I guess, to not overlap Howell. He's the only one that I do that with, because if I did that for every other show, because there's lots of great shows out there, live streams, then I would never be able to get on. So sometimes you just got to do your thing, you do your time, and if people watch you, they watch you. If they watch somebody else, they watch somebody else, or if they go back and forth or whatever, however they do it, however you guys do it. But Hal has always been the one show that I've always tried to not be on at the same time, because I sort of fashioned my schedule to be on Hal's off times, right? But this is going to be the one time I'm still going to do my Tuesday show, but I'm only going to do 2 hours. I'll do 9 to 11, and I don't know if Hal's even going to. Maybe he'll be on. Maybe he'll start in the morning and go all the way till the next morning, I guess. But I'm still going to pop on. That's going to be probably the only time I ever do a show, my show, the same time as Hal. But that'll be on Tuesday. Non-Useless says 34 felonies won't put him in prison. It's going to be the threats to the jury, the judge's daughter, and the wife that puts him away. And I think also the thing that'll put him away is probably the Jack Smith stuff with the mishandling of the classified information documents. I think that's a pretty serious one. And I think the Georgia case of the election interference, that's a big one too. I think that could put him away. Pamela says non-use. I'm afraid that Dump won't ever get any punishment. Well, we'll see. There's Rob Glenn saying hi to Nick Rich. Rob 4419 says MSG had the biggest names Joel Barbara and then Orange Man. So wrong. I don't know what that means. Witchy Woman just got a call. Need my ticket and ID to get in. Security is tight. Yeah, that's that. I'm a bit envious. So have a good time over there, Witchy Woman. Nick Rich says Hal's got a week to line up tons of guests for his 24-hour mega worldwide broadcast starting at noon Pacific. So noon Pacific. So that'll work out good. I'll do my show from 9 to 11, or maybe I'll just take it into noon, and then we'll go from there. We'll just all hop over to Hal. So there, that works. If that's true, Nick, that works out pretty good. I think. I think that'll work out good. I'm just skipping down here. Lots of folks in the chat room. Mr. Spock is here, so we're going to live long and prosper, hopefully. Hopefully everything is good out there at the Chicken Ranch. Paul Sharkey Mannion's giving love out to everybody. Mark Lungo is here. Mark says, if Tony Hinchcliffe winds up bringing down Trump, the irony will be the only real joke he's ever made. Oh, that's Tony. That's the guy who made that horrible joke. And really, all that did was really solidify the Puerto Rican vote and the Latino vote. A lot of Latinos, and I do realize that people who actually live in Puerto Rico, they can't vote in the general election. But there are lots of Puerto Ricans that live stateside, and they can vote. And there's lots of Latinos that, that just who aren't Puerto Rican, but who found that to be incredibly offensive, as well as myself and a lot of us non-Latinos found that to be incredibly offensive. But that didn't gain that rally. That's why I say they weren't there to try to gain votes or gain support. They were there just to solidify the racist bigots that they already have. That was just a big old, this is it. This is the group we're going with. We're doubling down on the racism. We're doubling down on the bigotry. And that's all that was about. It was about gathering up their troops to get ready for another Jan 6th. That's what all that hate rally was about. That Nazi hate rally was about just gathering up the troops and getting ready for another Jan 6th. In my opinion. Witchy Woman says 1.5 million people as of last night signed up, might not make it because daughter gets home at 3:30. Well, try your best. Non-useful says hit that like button. Thank you, non-useful, for that reminder. Serena Monkey says, I genuinely hope Kamala makes voting day a national holiday, if for no other reason than a big middle finger to Trump. Well, that would be Congress would do that, and Kamala would sign it into a law. That's for sure. Rob 4419, never heard about that guy Tony. Can he fit in the basket of deplorables? When he was doing that joke and I saw the clip, I didn't know who he was either. But I know who Kill Tony is. That's their podcast. I guess he's the Tony of Kill Tony. And the only reason I really know about Kill Tony is because they did a Vegas show at Resorts World a few months ago. I guess it was a few months ago. And on the big billboards and the video boards, they said Kill Tony, and they were advertising it as the most listened to podcast in the world and all this kind of stuff. And apparently it is. I mean, I don't think that was far from the truth. It's one of the most popular podcasts going right now. So they have millions and millions and millions of listeners. And apparently they did a show at Resorts World that I think it's sold out. They have a big following. And I say they because it's not just Tony. I guess there's a whole kind of group of them. And I guess these guys sprung out from the whole Joe Rogan thing. And so then they made their own podcast. And I guess what they do is I don't even know. I've never listened to the show. But I guess they think they're funny. They think they're stand-ups or whatever, and they're not stand-up comedians. I don't know. I guess I've never listened to the show, so I guess I can't really comment on it. But that's the only reason I know about them is because of the Resorts World show from a few months ago, where they were advertising themselves as being the number one podcast in the world, or on the internet, or whatever. And so then I've just learned a little bit more about them. But they were from the Joe Rogan group and all that kind of shit. So, but I never had seen him. So when I saw the clips of that dude telling the joke, the first thing I thought was, this guy doesn't know how to tell a joke. I mean, not even that the joke was distasteful and stupid, but the delivery. I was like, my first thought was, who's this guy, this amateur trying to tell a joke? And then it turns out, I guess he's Tony from Kill Tony, and supposedly they roast like open micers, like young comics or people who do like open mics. I guess that's part of the thing that they do on the Kill Tony show, is they roast these things. And then this guy has the nerve, if that's his delivery, as he's claiming to be some sort of comedian. Fuck. People, why do you listen to that? You should be listening to Trucker John. This should be the number one fucking live stream in the world. In fact, it might be. At least I think I'm at least top 1,000. I'm at least top 1,000. Yeah. So that's the whole thing on Tony, whatever the fuck his name is. Terrible comedian, terrible delivery, terrible joke, and yet he has the number one goddamn podcast in the fucking world. What is this world coming to, man? What is this world coming to? So I'm skipping down. I know I'm way behind in the chat, so I'm just skipping down. MJ Daniel says, really don't like the Yankees, so at least they are not winning. Skipping down again. There's CN. Hey, CN from the Netherlands is here. Good to see CN. Thank you so much for dropping on into the driver's lounge. Andrew Petrie is here. Good to see Andrew. Good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you may be. CN says, bit late, waiting for my dinner. I had AI day today, and my nerd friend just left. Huh. You have an actual AI day. Well, there you go. Serena Monkey says that Rob Glenn, he truly has no filter. He will read almost anything you write. I've stopped being a dick about it because I like TJ. Did Rob Glenn make a comment about me reading the comment? I don't know. I don't see it. So, anyhow, I don't want to keep going back. Yeah, I will read just about anything. By golly. So Aaron says Hal is starting at noon. Yeah, so I guess on Tuesday, so that works perfectly, Aaron. Next Tuesday, I'll do my regular show from 9 to 11. Like I said, maybe I'll just stretch that into about 12. And then we can all do a Drugger John raid over to Hal's place on voting day. Ryan Flynn says, anybody, how does one respond to comment with copy-colored response? With copy-colored response? I don't know. We have to ask Rob Glenn, because I don't know. Let's see here, but thanks for being here. Rob Glenn, I think Trump has a lot more crime in him left to commit. Oh, yeah, he ain't done criming, is he? That's why we need to put him away. We need to lock his ass up. Rob4419 says, entertainers who perform there and then allowing Trump there. That's what happens when I skip in the chat. I don't know. I'm sort of like needle dropping. As Hal would say, I'm needle dropping in the chat. So I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that's all about. Nick Chris says 10:02. So I'm about 8 minutes behind. And I've been skipping down. Skipping a lot of stuff here. Mad Mac is here. Hey, good to see Mad Mac. Thank you for just sitting in here in the old driver's lounge. We got Midas Kevin Anderson here. Ryan Flynn. Again, anybody know how to respond to chat with colored clip on here? I don't know. To chatter with colored clip. I don't know. Witchy Woman, he's a terrible comedian, talking about that Tony motherfucker. Yeah, it was horrible. And then they have the nerve, apparently, to, on his show, they just, like, criticize comics and stuff. Nick Rich says Roseanne Barr thinks she's funny. Yeah, I guess, I guess when you have success, Roseanne Barr had tremendous success, of course, with her shows, her TV shows, and became a multi-millionaire. You kind of begin to, how's that go? I don't know, like the smell of your own jib or whatever. What I think Hal says something like that. Josh does a sit down comedian tell body joke. Yeah. Non-useful says Nazis have their own racist comedians and commentators. The Nazis. Am I supposed to say Nazi? Will I get in trouble? Maybe that's just on TikTok. I don't know. Which I don't do. I closed my TikTok account a long time ago. I think it's all just spam and bots. When you're on TikTok, you get spammed so much. It seems like way more than any other account, any other social media platform that I've ever seen. I mean, it's just constant. It's all, you're getting spammed to go to like dating sites and porn sites and crypto. There's a lot of big crypto things. These sort of like supposedly, money investment type of thing. I had an account, and without even trying, I mean, I got, I posted a lot of videos on there, and I at the time when I closed my account out, I think I had 12 or 13,000 or more, maybe, I guess what they call it, followers, or whatever they call it on TikTok, and that was just people just following me, and I would check out some of their accounts, and they were almost all like, if you clicked on their account, it would be all like, yeah, invest in crypto or go to this website, this dating site or whatever. It's just all spam. So I just went ahead, even though I had a lot of videos with a lot of good, as far as the numbers of viewership. Like I say, I think those were just all spam accounts that were viewing. So I went ahead and closed that out. Let's see here. I think I'm almost caught up. What you said, Kevin? That sounds awesome. Oh, we're talking about Midas Kevin Anderson said to Witchy Woman, I have one called Yes We Can, a parody on some kind of wonderful called some kind of Kamala, a jazz melody called Our President Kamala. Did I say Kamala? Sorry about that. Kamala Harris, and 2 raps called Kamala Harris and Vote. Cool. And then that's what Witchy Woman was saying. That sounds cool, I guess. Unusual Jewish comedians in 1939. Germany was arrested and brought before none other than Adolf Hitler himself. Adolf fumed and screamed at the guy. And then Non-Usual goes on to say, are you responsible for the joke about how when I die, it will be a Jewish national holiday? And the comedian says, yeah, that one's mine. And are you responsible for the one about how of the Third Reich that will last 1,000 years? And the comedian says, don't blame that one on me. That's all you. I'm sure it must have been funnier delivery or whatever. You had to be there. I think you had to be there for that one. Route 4419 with Barr. What happened to her is a question. Others, she's full-blown racist. I don't know who we're talking about. That's what happens when I get mid-thread of a conversation that I don't know. Sort of somebody says, fucked into a cocked hat, I think is the saying. I could be wrong. Yeah, and that's when I hear Hal say that a lot. Something about a cocked hat. Nick Rich, I've been on Facebook. I've been on YouTube for more than a decade. I joined Facebook in January to find old friends and family. What a mess. Cian says, sorry, gone for a few minutes. Going to take out food, the bags, and see if it's good. Minus Kevin, Witchy is a good woman. A witchy woman. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A witchy woman. Witchy Woman says, thanks, Kev. You are a sweetheart. Josh says, I guess Roseanne singing was funny. We're talking about when she did the national anthem. Was that Roseanne Barr? And she sang it really, really horribly. Roxanne Arnfield says, if you enjoy fingernails on a blackboard, Josh. Hey, Roxanne, by the way, I don't know if I saw you earlier, so thanks for being here. By the way. Nick Rich, John caught up finally. Yeah, I had to skip a lot. I skipped down a lot. But that's sometimes you got to do that. Or else, like, I would still be 30 minutes behind, probably. All right, so about an hour in, and I guess I'm caught up. So what's going on with you guys? What's going on? We're all, man. I know I'm chomping at the bit to vote. I mean, for the vote for election day. I got my sticker here, so that's in. But I'm chomping at the bit, for all of our votes to be in and counted, and for election day to come, and for Kamala Harris to win, be the first woman president of the United States. And it's not just that. I think she's going to be a great president. I really, really do. Joe Biden has had a great presidency and has done a lot of great things and really took an economy that Donald Trump fucked up and fucked over. And Trump mishandled COVID intentionally. We were already headed towards a recession before COVID even happened. And when Joe Biden took over, it was a mess. And he got vaccines into the arms of people. And he got a real hold on that, and where it really turned around within 6 months to that in that first year of his presidency. It was like night and day as far as getting the vaccines out, getting people, seeing the numbers come down, the daily and the weekly deaths and infections come down. It was just amazing. And then getting bipartisan legislation through with that Inflation Reduction Act and the Chips and Science Act and the American Recovery Act, or whatever they were calling it, that would help with, with infrastructure and, building roads and rebuilding bridges and all that. I mean, that was a continuation of the Obama policies, basically, from as far as the Recovery Act, but really getting us going and getting inflation that had peaked at 9 point something percent and now down to 2%, and getting unemployment that was like, what was it, like 10% or something, and getting it down to 4%, bringing out new jobs, getting manufacturing to come back, the things that we thought we would never see before, getting high quality computer chips plants, being built here in the United States, primarily Arizona, but other places too, that are going to bring in, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of jobs. How many jobs it's going to create? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and good, high-paying jobs that pay well over $100,000 a year. I mean, these are great jobs. These aren't just minimum wage jobs that Joe Biden, through his policies, are coming to America, coming back, and so Joe Biden has done a great job. And with Kamala Harris being president, she's going to take those policies that the Bidenomics, they're going to become Kamala-omics or something, Harris-omics, and she's going to refine them, and her, and of course her administration and the Congress. That's why we need to vote blue for all this dear to you, trademark Trucker John. We need to vote blue, all down ballot, down ticket, get the Congress behind her, so that they can continue to work on these policies, these economic policies, refine them, make them better, and just continue with American prosperity and grow the economy from the bottom up, from the middle class up, not top down. Reaganomics has been a failure. Voodoo economics, as George, I guess H.W. Bush would say. So I'm looking forward to Kamala Harris winning, and to 2 terms of Kamala Harris, and just keep on going from there. And from there on, who knows? Maybe some people think Tim Walz will run. Some people, which I didn't even think about, because I thought in 8 years, maybe, he might be ready to retire. I don't know. But he'll only be 68 or so, I guess, or 69. But which is, I think for a president, that's still, I think you're still okay at 69. I think when you get to be around 79, that's probably, as we've seen, we saw Joe Biden, once he, just as he turned 81, 82, he's not the same Joe that he was. And I think him stepping down from the campaign was a wise decision in retrospect. At the time, I was against it, but in retrospect. And we've seen now Donald Trump, who's right behind him. He's like 78. He's even younger, right? Isn't he only 78? And he's really slipping. I mean, talk about cognitive decline and mental acuity and all that kind of shit. Donald Trump, he's way worse than Biden is, as far as I'm concerned. He's only 78. He's like 3 or 4 years younger, or is he 79? Whatever he is, maybe he's 79. And he's really losing it, old Trumpy there. I mean, so if you want to talk about Biden being not fit or losing some mental, having some diminishment there or whatever, Trump is way worse. So that's what I was saying. I think you can still run for president if you're 69 or early 70s, but I think the cutoff point we've kind of seen might be in your late 70s. When you're pushing 80, that might be a cutoff point. But I don't think we had a choice really in 2020. I mean, we had to. I voted for Joe in the general, but it was so imperative to make sure Trump didn't win re-election. So if Joe Biden was the guy, then that's the guy, and he surprised me with a really great presidency. I mean, Joe Biden, people were, if you recall, people were saying this is like an FDR president. This is like we haven't seen these type of, you know, sort of New Deal type policies since FDR, right? So, and I believe it was reported, I think, that Joe Biden's favorite president was FDR. So, and he's very much ran his administration and was getting, laws passed through getting things through Congress that were very FDR like. So I'm happy with the Biden presidency, with what he's done, and I think I'm going to be even happier and more pleased once Kamala Harris is in and is able to continue with this great building of the American middle class, building our economy based on that's the investment. You invest in the middle class, and I think we'll see much better dividends than we ever do by giving all the breaks to the top 1%. Okay, so let's see. Keith Police says attending a Lucas Kunz rally tonight. He is basically tied with Josh Hawley. So yeah, I hope Lucas Kunz wins. We need to get old Twinkle Toes Hawley out of there. If we could flip that seat, I think that'd be a great thing. Non-useful Bill Clinton is as old as Donald. And Bill Clinton is pretty sharp. I mean, he sounds a little rough, a little hoarse all the time. But the guy had double heart bypass surgery, open heart surgery, for God's sakes. So I'll give Bill Clinton a little a pass on the hoarse sounding throat there. But he seems, he's still sharp and still has it, And because of Bill Clinton, I would have never known that since 99 or 89? I forget now if it was 89 or 99. But anyhow, about how over those years, I guess maybe it was 89, Republican administrations have created 1 million new jobs. 1 million. And over that same time period, under Democratic administrations, 50 million jobs have been created. I think that's an astounding, and I think it's all been fact checked, double checked, triple checked as being accurate. If that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know what will. If that doesn't show you how different the two parties are, and how much more beneficial to the American people the Democratic Party is over the Republican Party, then I don't know what will ever show you or convince you or of anything like that. As well as in says, Kamala Amex is fun to say. Yeah, Kamala Amex. Mad Mac, when the MAGAs tried to cheat after losing, Biden has the power to put them all in prison, according to the Supreme Court, and I hope he does it. Oh, yeah, because of the decision where it's official act and he can just wave his hand and do it or something. But he's not going to do that. Joe Biden is a believer in the Constitution. New court decisions, maybe the exception there. But I believe Joe Biden still believes in due process. He certainly will. I'm sure he'll take whatever precautions he needs to make as far as security. And if anything happens, I'm sure that I shouldn't say I'm sure, but I'm confident that our justice system, our law enforcement, everything will make the appropriate arrests and get people in front of a judge, and they will be arraigned and have court dates set up and go accordingly like that. So the monkey, are we talking age or Trump's IQ? I'd say it was lower than his actual age. Yeah, Trump is a moron, but he's also, he has those sort of, he knows the tricks. He knows the salesman tricks, is what it is. Mr. Spock says John Denver had a temper during his divorce. He got pissed off and chainsawed a bunch of trees. so she wouldn't get them in the settlement. I don't know where that came out of left field. Okay. Non-useful. Trump stole over $628 million taxpayer money. Yeah, just on his golfing alone, right? Probably with what he charged, like the Secret Service, charging all the prices for the hotels and just all the the salary or the pay for all the security and everything. Witchy Woman, we need a new song for his jail time. Kevin and I will write a parody. Don't let the prison door hit you where the good Lord split you. You fuck around, you found out what freedom is all about. There you go. You got the first opening lines there, Witchy Woman. Rob 44 never understood John Denver's fame. Well, this was the 70s, man. I mean, the Eagles were the fucking biggest band in the 70s. So, so would John Denver be a big deal. I remember listening to John Denver. Country Roads. Country Roads was a huge hit. And it's one of those songs that's kind of like infectious. Like when she starts singing the main chorus of Country Roads, Take Me Home, you can't get it out of your head. Right now, I probably put that song into a bunch of people's heads. I do apologize for any song, because even if it's a good song and you like it, it can get annoying when a song that just is in your head and playing over and over again. You can't get it out. Nick Rich says, when Kamala is sworn in, the free world will breathe a sigh of relief, and fascists will be cringe in fear and take a huge dump in their diapers. Boy, that took a turn. Like Surrender, like was the Surrender Monkey says, Choker John reads everything to my own detriment sometimes. Witchy Woman says, back then we didn't hear about every word and action of stars. Today they sneeze and gossip about. John Denver was in a different era. Yeah, I like John Denver. I mean, look, I'm a hard rock more type of person. So during the 70s, my favorite bands were like Thin Lizzy and Aerosmith and even before Van Halen, because Van Halen, of course, but before them, it was of course, I always grew up with the Beatles and CCR more in the 60s. In the 70s, yeah, it was more like some of those more rock bands. But John Denver, I like John Denver, because he was on the radio and you heard the songs, and I even like me a little Jim Croce, Mr. Spock is making some homemade pizza tonight. That sounds good. Stephanie B2, member for 3 months. Wish I could get my surgery. Oh well. Well, I hope that works out, Stephanie. I know you've been having such trials and jumping through hoops and hurdles. Hopefully, man, we're all thinking of you and praying for you and sending our best thoughts and positive thoughts your way, that you get the care that you need. And I hope that works out for you. But thanks for being a member. I do appreciate you for being here. Witchy Woman, do not denigrate country roads in Virginia or West Virginia. No, I would never do that. I would never do that. Mad Mag, John Denver wrote some great songs that other people sang. The songs that he sang himself were really nice too. Roxanne Frill says, nice 72. I wish you could too. Non-usual says, new jail time jiggle for Orange Dingle. Donnie, don't drop the soap. Okay. I think we're now, we're all fantasizing about Trump going to prison. And believe me, he deserves it. Like the other day, I guess it was yesterday, I was watching Hal Sparks' show. I guess it was Hal, and he was playing a clip of Trump. I guess it was the when he was in front of that faith board with the lady, and how he was just talking about how he got shot, and I got shot, and it was, in my mind, I was thinking of him just being in a jail cell and he's just telling the story over and over again. And his jail mate is about ready to, strangle him just because he's tired of hearing all of his stupid stories. That was what was going through my mind. Sorry, Monkey says, Trucker John, the Wombles were bigger in the UK. I still listen to them now. Don't believe I've heard of them. Mad Mac, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Grand Funk. Yeah, exactly. Those were the bands that I liked in the 70s, much more than John Denver or the Eagles. But still, I like the Eagles and I like John Denver. You can like both, but you just have, we have our preferences, right? Witchy Woman, non-useful to Ricky, don't lose that number. Yeah, Steely Dan. See, I like me some Steely Dan. Paul Sharkymania, I've seen the Archbishop of Puerto Rico has demanded an apology from Trump for his crap. He and his minions have said they really are a dirty bag of shite. Yeah, Trump, they're just... They are just a cult of bigots and racists. Really no other way to put it. Let's see. Oh, Paula White. Yeah, so Aaron West, Paula White. I guess that was Paula White, the lady that he was talking to. Non-useful says Steve Bannon was released from jail smelling all clean and fresh because it was mandatory. So is he released today? Or is that just a joke? Because I thought he was getting out. Was it? I don't know. I knew it was sometime soon. I don't know. Did he get released today? Nick Rich says, I got to fly a bit. Hold off on the cookie, please. Oh. Yeah. All right, Nick. Paul Sugarman, come on, TJ. Leaving on a jet plane. Catch up, mate. What about it? What did I say that I was behind on? Well, 4419, who do you think will be the worst to lie for Trump on election night? The reporting. The worst? Who knows? It could be Fox News. It could be, Newsmax. I don't know. Who knows? Michael McAndrews, I don't trust any of them, Rob. Pamela says, Rob 4419, Jesse Waters, a.k.a. Pissy Waters. Oh, there you go. Paul Sugarmanian, yeah, the MAGA are living in the past. Rob 4419 says, too young to have gone to Woodstock, but I did go to Watkins Glen concert. Mr. Spock, I had that album years ago at William, cool cover. See, because I kind of skipped out. I don't know. King Crimson. I like King Crimson. I forget if I had it or my cousin had it. We had the King Crimson. Someone in our family had the King Crimson album with 21st Century Schizoid Man. That's the one I remember. And that was an awesome song. 21st Century Schizoid Man. And there's a lot of great just musical interludes there. So I can't say that I'm a big, like I'm a huge fan. Because I only remember that one song. I know that. I think I don't know if it was one of my cousins had that album, and I think I just borrowed it. I listened to it all the time, just for that song, just for 21st Century Schizoid Man, because I just love that song so much. But I don't know if I could say I'm a King Crimson fan, because I don't. That's the only one I really listen to is that album, and mainly for that song. I just love that song. It's a great song. Non-useful says, longtime Donald Trump ally Steve Bannon was released from prison early early Tuesday after serving a 4-month sentence for defying a subpoena. Wow. So he's out. So just in time, he's out just in time, 1 week before the election, so he can get out and start spewing his bullshit and lies on his platform. Too bad they couldn't have made him stay an extra week. Witchy Woman says, you will feel better after your body will thank you when you hit 50. Trust me, Isolda. Oh. See, I'm mid... when I get sort of in mid-thread, I just, miss stuff there. Apparently, Isolda's working out. I don't know. Isolda Zinn says, that's Paula White. I didn't recognize her from the Botox. Yeah, I didn't recognize her either because I think I've seen Paula White before, like years ago, and she's been doing that televangelism thing. Non-useful to 4 months in federal prison not only didn't break me, it empowered me, Bannon said. I am more energized and more focused than I've ever been in my entire life. Well, better get used to it because he might be going back. There might be, because that was just for defying a subpoena. I think doesn't he still have to face charges for committing fraud for that money he took for like a build the wall GoFundMe or whatever? Isn't that what this whole thing's about? And then he ended up taking the money. Mad Max says Greg Lake on guitar for 24th Century Schizoid Man. Oh, okay. Did I mess up the title? He went on to form Emerson, Lake and Palmer and played the song often in concert. It's a great song. It's a great instrumentals, great rock instrumentals. I think it's great, and I've seen that. I've heard parts of that song. It seems like show up in other bands where they've kind of, I wouldn't say plagiarized, but were heavily influenced by that song. Sort of man says, I hit 50 in 17 days. Witchy Woman, what are you trying to warn me about? Josh says, rest in peace, Phil Lesh. I think I heard about the passing of Phil Lesh, and I'm trying to remember who Phil Lesh is. He was in a band, right? Probably some famous band. Okay. William said, Mad Mac, that would be Robert Fripp on guitar. Witchy Woman, nah, that energy, you bloated a pustule on an amoeba's ass. That feeling is terror. Talking about, I think, referring to Steve Bannon, I believe, hopefully. Roxanne Arfield says, well, then, non-useful. He can look forward to more time in jail. Mark Lungo, the album is in the court of the Crimson King. Check out the title track sometime. I'm sure that's the one and only album I think I ever listened to. I'm sure I heard all of it. But the one that really stood out to me was, I guess, 24th Century Schizoid Man. And I remember just listening to that over and over again. Witchy Woman, Surrender. This, I'm a little foggy on it because we're going back into the 70s here. And I'm sure, and I listened to it, since then a few times, but I went through this phase of just listening to that over and over again. Let's see. Paul Sharkey Mannion says, hi, Surrender Monkey. In a little town called Wallingford in Oxford, they have a road after Jethro Tull. There you go. Surrender Monkey, which woman? I'm abusing my liver right now. Oops. Mr. Spock says, Robert Fripp and his scantily clad wife do an interesting show every week on YouTube. They do covers of songs. I wouldn't mind checking it out just for the scantily clad wife. You know what I mean? Witchy Woman says, surrender. I will continue to abuse my lungs with medicine until I die. Josh says, Grateful Dead bassist. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, Phil Lesh of Grateful Dead just passed away. That's right. Now I remember. And I remember thinking, I don't think, are there any left? I think was maybe one original member left, maybe. I don't know. But they're getting down there. And they were just here in Vegas, of course, doing the Dead and Company. I don't know. Was Phil Lesh performing then? Or I don't even know. I'm not that knowledgeable. But I know they have a lot of, like John Mayer's in there, and a lot of new people filling in. And they had there was another guy who was original was there. I forget his name now. I forget the names. I feel bad about that, but yeah, okay. So Phil Lesh. So I think they might be down to like one left. I don't know. Which is sad, but it's happened. We all we grow old and we die. So, but it's sad. Rest in peace, Phil Lesh, for sure. Okay, Mark Lungo. Also, the song is 21st Century Suicide. I thought it was 21st Century Suicide, man. I guess someone just maybe was a typo. Non-useful. Bannon faces additional criminal charges in New York State court alleging he duped donors. This is what I was talking about. Alleging he duped donors who gave money to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Bannon has pleaded not guilty to money charges. A trial in that case is scheduled to begin in December. So I was right about that. I pretty much said that whole thing. Sort of make it cool. Didn't know that. Shocky. I did notice Living in the Past album reference now. I'm not a big Jethro Tull fan. They're okay, but what is that? Bungle in the Jungle or Bumble in the Jungle or Hunker Down in the Jungle? That's a good one. Certain Monkey says, "Cool, didn't know that." Oh, it was 72. I'll send you one. Okay, someone gonna send something. I'm talking about Started B2's problems there. We hope that gets worked out. Bob Weir. William says Bob Weir and Bill Kreutzmann are the only ones left. And I think Bill Kreutzmann was performing with Dead and Company. I don't know if Bob Weir was or not. Maybe you guys could fill me in on that too. And I don't know if Phil Lesh was Phil Lesh performing? Because I just don't know what state of health these guys are in. That's why I'm wondering. But I'm pretty sure Bill Kreutzmann has been performing with the Dead and Company. Swinner Mega says, "Can we give Trucker on homework for after the stream? Google going up the pool. Jethro Tull, I promise you." You promise me what? That I will love the song immensely? I'm not saying that Jethro Tull is not good or whatever. I mean, they have good songs, I guess. Apparently, it's just not my thing. Flute rock is just not my thing, man. Witchy Woman says, "I get triggered because this happened to Eric and he lost the battle with his doctors." Oh, yeah, I think your husband. Yeah, man, that sucks. When you can't get the care you need and it's all this red tape bullshit, that's got to be more than frustrating. Paul Sugarman says, "Robert Fripp played lead guitar for Bowie on the Heroes album. I love that song, Heroes. One of my favorite Bowie songs. Hero or We Could Be Heroes or whatever it's called." Mark Lungo says, "Bungle in the Jungle" was a hit. Yeah, I like that one. See, I like the hits. I'm not a deep diver in a lot of these bands, but I like the hits. Rob 4419, my sister was a huge Toll fan and Springsteen too. Well, I'm a huge Springsteen fan. At one time, I owned every Springsteen album, and a lot of my shit got stolen, so I don't have them anymore. Non-useful, breaking Terry Garr, the offbeat comic actress of Young Frankenstein and Tussie has died. Oh, that is sad. Terry Garr, she was great. I loved her. She was always funny, quirky, funny. So that's sad. Thanks for the sad news, non-useful. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's sad. Witchy Woman, Jethro Tull played poetry like Rush and Pink Floyd, in my opinion. I like Rush and Pink Floyd better than Jethro Tull, but yeah. Yeah, Jethro Tull, they can lay down some power chords, MJ Daniel, I have heard that Lesh was still playing live shows until recently, even though he was ill. So he was probably, then he may have been here in Vegas during they had a residency at the Sphere earlier this year for about 3 or 4 months. They did that. So Phil Lesh may have been there. Robert Lenore, hadn't heard about Terry Garr. She was in Mr. Mom. Yeah, she apparently just passed away. Witchy Woman, rest in peace, Terry Garr, great actress. Aaron West, Terry Garr was a fellow MS warrior, rest in peace. Paul Sharkymanian, Phil Lesh has gone to join the Great Gig in the Sky with Jerry Garcia. Both the drummers are still alive. Both the drummers and still alive. I think are still alive. So yeah, that's what I saw. Someone had a meme where, yeah, that's where I guess it was a couple days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, where it had it was like a cartoon meme of, or whatever, of Jerry Garcia, like I guess at the pearly gates with his arms wide open and like saying welcome to Phil Lesh. So that's why. But when you said earlier Phil Lesh, I kind of forgot the name and everything. But Mr. Spock, she was also on Star Trek TOS. Non-useful Ron Ely, Tarzan, he died. Yeah, that happened, I think, yesterday or a couple days ago. So yeah, they're all these little folks. They're dropping like flies here, I guess. Roxanne Armfield, Aaron West, is that something we have in common? Josh Rush was solid. Rush is great, I think. 72, rest in peace, Terry Garr. Monkey, I love old English folk music. I know I talk like a twit or a twat or a twit or whatever most of the time, but I really enjoy Steel-Eyed Span, a great band that rocks. I never heard of them, but I'll take your word for it. Mark Lungo says, I've been arguing with a Jill Stein-loving friend who thinks Kamala is a heartless monster because she won't cut off Israel's military aid. Continued. First of all, Kamala Harris doesn't have that power. That would be Congress. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been advocating for humanitarian aid to be brought in to Palestine, and Republicans in Congress continue to block it. So, with all due respect, Mark Lungo, fuck your friend, your Jill Stein loving friend, and the horse she rode in on. And I'll just leave it at that. MJ Daniel says Ian Anderson wore a codpiece on stage. Strange group. I think he probably wears a kilt and all that shit too, right? Non-useful Madonna's brother, Christopher Ciccone, dies at 63. And we just had Fernando Valenzuela die at 63, just shy of his 64th birthday, a few days ago. Hey, and there's Ashburn Knutson with a $50 Norwegian money, I guess, in OK. 50, OK. Metallica, Rammstein, Slayer, Nightwish, and anything Dio, Holy Diver. Thank you, Ashburn Knutson, for the support to the show. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, those are all some really great bands. Metallica, I love Metallica. Rammstein, I've heard them, of course, heard their songs, and I think they're pretty cool, but I couldn't really name any of their songs. But they're cool, man. They're laying down some good German rock or whatever it is. Slayer's great. Nightwish. I know Nightwish. I don't know them, but and of course, yeah, Dio, just the man. Just what a voice that guy had, and just some great classic rock songs with Dio, and Dio being, of course, a solo artist, being with Sabbath. Just some great stuff from Dio. Rest in peace, Dio, by the way. He's been gone for a while now, like about 10 years, I guess. Mark Lungo says, I actually agree that Kamala should stop funding Netanyahu's war. She's not funding the war machine, but my friend doesn't seem to care about any issue. She's the vice president. The vice president doesn't really do anything. And Biden doesn't really do anything. Now, Biden can advocate for or try to encourage Congress to do one thing or the other, but Congress holds the purse strings. They decide on that shit. Paul Striking Man says, thick as a brick. Oh, yeah, thick as a brick. Jethro Tull invented the seed drill in the 17th century. The real Jethro Tull, yeah. Mentioned down rock and roll in Zhe, Terry Garr, Young Frankenstein. Yeah, she was really great. And again, thanks. I'm just looking. I'm seeing all the likes, I guess, for Asburn Newton through the chat here. So once again, thanks, Asburn. That's very nice of you. Mad Mac says, yeah. Greg Lake played bass and vocals, and that whilst King Crimson didn't. Good catch, William. Mark Lungo, I agree with the fuck your friend thing. I want to say his friend, but I'll never see him in the same way again. Sort of Monkey talking about the violins and stuff. I'm going to skip down on that. I also like System of Down and Ramsey. System of Down, great band. I love them too. Josh, I got a 5-layer dip the other day, and the label looked like Slayer. That's funny. 72 Kimchi, did you get a video? Oh, I guess they're sending videos back and forth. CN, I know some of them, but I'm not a hard rock fan, but love the older ones. Mad Mac, yeah, I'm tripping today, laughing out loud. I've been watching too many movies about the future, I suppose, but I'm working while it's playing in here too. Good catch on the 21st mark. I thought, then I like I said, I've listened to that song a whole bunch of times. I said 21st century is considered bad, and then I guess it was Mad Mac who said 24th century, and then I was like, oh, did I fuck up? So I'm just glad to know we got that cleared up, and it wasn't me. I was right. Anyhow, Asmer Newton, Trigger John, look up Nightwish Ghost Love score. Nightwish. I will look them up. I've got some homework. I guess Surrender Monkey's got me wanting to check out. Who was it? Surrender Monkey. I'll have to scroll back. I need to have a pad and a pen here ready to take notes for these things because I'll forget. As soon as the show's over, truth be told, full disclosure, I will probably forget. But if I do remember Nightwish and the other one that Surrender Monkey said to look up, I forget now. Might have to re-enter that in chat. MJ Down, Dio on Heaven and Hell album is the best. Yeah, and that song, Heaven and Hell, the vocals on that, man. See, and wasn't Rammstein Dutch? Aren't Dutch and Germans pretty much the same? Maybe I'm just being an American asshole right now by saying that. I don't know. MJ Daniels says, there is only so much President Biden can do about Netanyahu. Exactly. And I think it's a touchy subject, no doubt. It's not so easy, folks. Put your shoes in the shoes of Joe Biden. I mean, we have Israel, the country of Israel, that we have supported since its inception. We helped create Israel. Our country did, right? And we've been supporting them, and we've been providing them with aid, monetary aid, and weaponry, defensive aid, whatever, the whole time, because the entire Middle East, they're surrounded by enemies, and they've needed to have protection and our help and our backing and our support. They've needed that, and they still need it. But now you have Netanyahu, who is basically a Trump or a Putin. He's a right-wing piece of shit, and he's trying to keep himself out of jail, just like Donald Trump is trying to keep himself out of prison. So you have Netanyahu, who's operating just like you would probably expect a right-wing extremist would react. And so, yeah, Israel has a right to defend themselves, no doubt. And they are constantly facing, other countries or other terrorist groups lobbing missiles and bombs into their country. They have a right to defend themselves against that. I agree with that. But the way that Netanyahu has been handling this war in Gaza against Hamas has been horrible. And I was thinking about this earlier. Just take this as a complete hypothetical. like what if Joe Biden was running that war? And I know, don't say, well, this couldn't happen, that couldn't happen. This is what a hypothetical is supposed to be. It's supposed to eliminate all the other shit. And just to say, if we just had, let's just say Joe Biden was handling this, and Joe Biden is Joe Biden, and he's a Democrat, and he does things from a more liberal point of view, perspective. And if Joe Biden were handling this war in Gaza, I don't think we would have tens of thousands of dead civilians or whatever the number is. Now, I'm not sure if these numbers are even true or accurate, but let's just say whatever's being reported, was it 40,000 or whatever? I don't think you would have that number. I think the number would be much, much lower. It would be a percentage of that. It would be probably less than, who knows, less than 10,000, less than, or whatever it would be. It would be a much smaller number because Joe Biden would be doing things with drones and attacking precisely. It would be surgical. And he'd be sitting in teams of special forces, whether it be Navy SEALs or Army Rangers or whatever special forces we have. We will be utilizing special forces, and we will be going in and getting these pockets of these Hamas fighters. It would be much more surgical and tactical, and so it would reduce the collateral damage immensely. This is what I believe. That this is the difference between a Joe Biden or even a Barack Obama type of leader over a Trump or Netanyahu type of leader or a Putin type of leader who don't give a fuck about collateral damage. They don't give a fuck. That's what George Bush did in Iraq, just carpet bombed Iraqi civilians. There were hundreds of thousands of casualties with what Bush was doing. And then once Obama became president, the way he handled going after terrorists, it was much more surgical, much more tactical, so that the number of collateral damage went down immensely. And we still had collateral damage, and that's awful for those people that die. Whether it's 50,000 or whether it's 5,000, that's still horrible for the 5,000. I get that, but when you're talking about these wars, war on terrorism, war on these groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, and we were doing like the Taliban and ISIS, you got to deal with them. You got to deal with them however you can do it, and you could just have a don't give a shit about collateral damage type of operations with like under Bush and under now Netanyahu or whatever, or you can have a more just precise tactical surgical type approach to it, and that's the way Biden would have handled this. And I think we would have seen, let's just say, if Biden was just like the guy in charge of doing this, let's say, like I say, this is a hypothetical, so don't come at me with a bunch of details or whatever, but hypothetically, if Joe Biden were the one handling this war in Gaza, I mean, you would see humanitarian aid going in, like for the civilians, you'd be seeing, I think, just much less, far smaller casualties of civilians, and they would really take the time to just surgically and precisely find the Hamas. But that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. What we're seeing with Netanyahu is just a guy who doesn't really give a fuck and who just is trying to look strong and stay involved in a war because he probably thinks that's what's keeping him out of court. As long as that war is going, that gives him the sort of shield from being prosecuted or something. I don't know, but to blame it on Kamala Harris, who's the vice president and really has no power, no decision-making power whatsoever on this war in Palestine, is kind of ridiculous. And I think Kamala Harris has come out and said some, I think, really, logical things. She said Israel has a right to defend itself. But she's also said that Netanyahu has handled this wrong and has gone like too far the other way. So anyhow, that's how I feel about that. Cian says, that is what I don't understand about people not so bright, or they willfully trying to shut out the truth, or they have been so brainwashed in those years and can't see they are going to be shunned. Mark Lungo says, just a good point. This guy is really stubborn and convinced of his own rightness. Asburn Newton says Biden would do the job with less collateral damage and a huge humanitarian effort. Exactly, and that's kind of what I just said. So thanks for being. We're on the same. I think we're on the same train of thought there, Asburn. Absolutely. Non-useful says Nathan Bedford Forrest was a prominent figure in the American Civil War. Died October 29th, 1877. Rest in peace. Cause of death, complications from diabetes. I don't know why that's being just thrown in there, but thank you for that. Hey, Chad Bostic, haven't seen Chad in a long time. Says actually, Obama caused more civilian casualties with his drone campaign, according to available statistics. I question that. That is not right. That I don't believe you, Chad. I specifically recall that Bush's campaign was killing probably 10 times as many as Obama. So I disagree with you, and you need to come up with a link or something, because I don't. That's bullshit, Chad. That's total fucking bullshit. Don't come into my chat with your bullshit. Surrender Monkey says, I believe Russia will quickly collapse after Kamala is elected, and their support to these bad actors, Iran, etc., will make them negotiate, and we will see how corrupt Trump is. Yeah, it's not going to end well for Putin, because he's not going to win Ukraine, and that's going to be vital to his future. He has to win in Ukraine, and he's not. Mark Lungo says, John, the signs on your wall remind me that my friend hasn't said a fucking word about Ukraine or any issue but Gaza. Yeah, well, maybe because it seems like the mainstream media doesn't talk about Ukraine all that much. That's why we love Phil Littner so much, because he's home right now, but he's been in Ukraine, and really one of the only voices, at least American voices, that you hear that's continually reminding us about the war in Ukraine. Cian must understand the drones were not as good as they are now. Like I say, I think Chad Bostic's full of shit on that thing. MJ Daniel, Israel has proven in the past that they can take out the leadership of these groups with no or very little civilian casualties. What Netanyahu on purpose? Yeah, just dropping these like huge bombs. I realize that Hamas uses civilians and hospitals as shields. But like you say, there are tactical, surgical ways you could do that. I think you need to make that effort, and Netanyahu has no desire whatsoever, to try and limit the civilian deaths there. Hey, Esmond Newton with another 20 in OK. I believe that was what we said. That was Norwegian, right? Why did Jared Kushner just fix it? Why did not Jared Kushner just fix it? I don't know. But he did say that he would like to get that land on the coast there, beachfront property. That'd be a great place to develop some beachfront property, he said. STEM2 Kimchi, he's definitely a silly fluffy puppy. Oh, the STEM2's puppy. I think I saw a video of the puppy. It was very cute. Looks like a cute puppy. Asmer Newton, because they are clueless. Let's see. Roxanne Anfield, nice, Asmer. That's a good question. Why did not Jared Kushner just fix it? I don't know. You're talking about when he was going and back when Trump was president, and I don't know. Asmer Newton, Phil is great. Yes, Phil Ittner is a great dude. That's great reporting from Ukraine. Mad Mac, Slava Ukraini, absolutely. Josh, Phil Ittner is awesome. CN says, just want to say, expect anything from those racist people. They will do as the turd did, put a lot of booby traps for Biden, but they will try everything in court and with lies, and do not be surprised. Yeah, I know. That's the thing is, I think we're ready this time. Mark Lungo, after the Civil War, Nathan Bedford Forrest became the first Grand Wizard of the KKK, not a good role model. Okay, thanks for that little history lesson there. Jonathan Earl says, Washington, the Obama administration said Friday it has killed anywhere from 64 to 116 innocent civilians in its drone wars outside of crucial combat zones of Afghanistan and Iraq. Yes, and you could probably get reports during the Bush administration where those numbers would be in the thousands. Asmer Knutson, Roxanne Arfield, why do the polls tell us 47% will vote for the demented fascist, evil, racist grandpa? I think the polls are skewed. I think the polls are going to get it wrong. We've seen overperformance based on the polling since 2020 and 2022, and I think we're going to see that again. I think it's going to be a huge victory for Kamala. I really do. Mad Mac, Findagidog, Asburn, Knutson, Kushner didn't fix it because he wasn't qualified to do the work. He is a moron. Surrender Monkey says, I'd like to say I only fell out with Wes Webb because he disparaged Phil Ittner, and I'm happier now I don't see any of his attention whore antics. Wes Webb's not here. I haven't seen him in here today. So. CN says 72. Hey, sorry, only the tube. Don't have time for rest. Too much work, and also privacy-wise, after a long time, I found Hal and started with chat, but not all over the tube. Well, I'm glad you found us, Ian, and you hang out with us. So thanks for being here. And I'm probably gonna, we're over 2 hours. I think I'm gonna put it into it to the show. Like I said, I think Hal is off today because he's doing his show down in his musical show down in Hollywood at the Whiskey A Go Go, the world famous Whiskey A Go Go. I think every month, right? It's a monthly thing. He does the what do they call it? The ultimate jam night. And I don't think he's doing a show this afternoon. So I think I'm going to come back on at 3 p.m. Pacific time if you guys are interested. Coming and hanging out some more. We're going to talk about this and we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about all kinds of shit. So come on back. I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And I think that's about it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Thanks, Asmer Knutson, for the super chats, and thanks to everyone who's subscribe, and share. Make sure you share the show. Hit that share button. Help the show grow. And we're at 3,475 subscribers. You guys are awesome. It wasn't long ago when we only had like 180, or something. It wasn't that long ago. It was only like a year ago, I think. So, or a year and a half ago. So you guys it's because of you guys coming in here and chatting and sharing and liking that really that helps us to grow. So it's all because of you guys. Mark Longo says, I'm interested in coming back at 3. Seeing tonight, Hal, midnight for me. Yeah, I don't think he's doing a show tonight. So I will be popping back on here at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Mad Mac 1500, at 1500 hours Pacific time. So just accordingly to your time zones, wherever you may be in the world. Asmer Knutson has got, I don't know if that's Russian or Norwegian. Excuse my ignorance, but I don't know. Witchy Woman says, Mac, I don't care to you. Jonathan Earl, John, me, or different John? I don't know, Jonathan Earl. But thanks for being here, Jonathan Earl. Thanks all you guys for being here. I'm getting really hungry. I didn't really have breakfast. I just had coffee, and I need to go make some breakfast before I faint. So yeah, and also, Sort of Mike says, help TJ and Hitchhikers buy the stream. And when you said Hitchhikers, that reminded me, I still haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I told you guys that I would probably like 6 months ago. But that's another thing I need to write down because I've never read that. And you guys, a lot of you guys in the chat seem to be really big fans of that book. So I need to do that. Michael Anderson says, James, I'll get some. Yeah, I've got a real, what do you call it? I don't know, a crash, coffee crash or something. So I got to go get something to eat. And I'll see you guys back at 3, unless Hal does pop on, then I won't. But that's why it's hard to schedule this. But hit that notification bell. There's a notification thing on here, and so you'll see me. You should see me if I come on, and you can look at. I'll post if I do go on. I'll post a little thing with a countdown and all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back on at 3. Because I'm pretty sure Hal's not coming on tonight or today or this afternoon or whatever it is. All right, guys. So you guys have a great time going about your thing. Witchy Woman, I hope you get to see Kamala today. Tell Kamala Harris hi from Trucker John. And all you guys, just awesome folks. Thanks, Aaron, if you're still here. Thanks, Jolie. I know Jolie's been resting. She's not feeling well, so I hope you get better, Jolie. And all you guys, thanks so much. And so just remember, though, guys, as we get closer to the election, just remember
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kill. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be on to glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stopped a truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream.